Welcome to Daily Devotions, and we are in Matthew chapter 24, and the great inspiration for the book series Left Behind, I have to say. There's a lot in here about end times, and lately, I don't know if you've seen this Netflix show. I know my wife's making her way through the Marie Kondo tidying up series, but she's also onto this new thing called Doomsday Preppers. And there's a lot of people out there that are overly prepped for a doomsday event. Some people, maybe it's an asteroid or maybe it's a nuclear fallout, whatever it is. They have bomb shelters with years and years of food in there and everything. And so she's actually started to prep for certain things, maybe not as extreme as a doomsday, like a Walking Dead zombie apocalypse, although that would be so awesome. Anyway, I would Rick Grimes the heck out of that thing. Anyway, so she's preparing for maybe a natural disaster, and are we ready for, a flood or a fire, or the electric grid goes out? The list goes on, and so she's always kind of like, well, I got my prepper stuff that I'm buying, and I'm like, whatever. Maybe, just maybe, if anybody from Netflix is watching, make a reality show about something about buying your husband guitars or something. Anyway, so doomsday preppers. There's no lack of them, and there's no lack of doomsday conspirators. I guess you can call them people who are just so focused on the end times that they forget about the good times, about the time that is now, the urgency of the gospel, not only because the end is coming, but because the end is inevitable. And so we see in Matthew chapter 24, starting in verse 32, now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near. In the same way, you see all these things, you can know his return is very near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene until all of these things take place. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. And so I love that at the end. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will remain. The word of the Lord, it will remain forever. His promises will outlast the sun, as it says in the Psalms. And so we needn't be afraid if our hope is in Christ, the Word, and we live by His words, and we live for His return. I know that Pastor Bob has been talking a lot about that, living in light of eternity. But we also need to not be so focused on looking for the light of eternity that we forget to live in the light of eternity. And I think it's apropos that the last two Devos, we talked a lot about, weeping over and being grieved over the lost souls, and then not divorcing the Great Commandment from the Great Commission, and really taking hold of the fact that, Christ could come back at any time. The end could come at any time, and we could be taken, and it could be happening right now as I speak. But that's true of anyone. The end could come in a car accident. The end could come by cancer. The end could come in a number of ways. And so I think whether you're a doomsday prepper, a doomsday denier, or a doomsday conspirator, it's always appropriate for you to live in light of eternity. And so that is what I have for you today. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next Devo.